Okay, here we have another example of dividing polynomials. I'll go through another one here. Notice that when we read the question out, we'll notice a bit of a gap in the powers here. So if we read it out, 2x to the power of 5 minus x to the power of 4 minus 3x to the power of 3 plus x squared. And then notice there's no x term. It goes straight from x squared to a constant. We need to adjust for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this minus 2. I'll drag it over to the side here to make a gap, and I'll put in an adjustment term here. So watch me do it. This negative 2 will probably disappear for a moment. I'll drag it out. I'll extend my answer box here, and I'll put in add 0x. And that's just to keep everything consistent so that we have powers going all along. It's just going to produce a correct answer. Okay, so let's go ahead now and solve this problem. So 2x to the power of 5 minus x to the power of 4 minus 3x to the power of 3 plus x squared plus 0x minus 2. Okay, so now that we have our powers in a consistent manner, we can now go ahead and divide using this don't miss the bus method. There are different methods like synthetic division, but I'm not assessing students on that skill, so I'm not going to teach it, especially in this YouTube video. So go ahead and let's go ahead and do this. So the first step is to divide. So we only divide by our variable here. So how many x's go into 2x to the power of 5? In other words, x times what makes 2x to the power of 5? And that's 2x to the power of 4. Notice I'm being consistent with where I put my terms. They're in the correct placement. All right, so now that I've divided, I'm now going to multiply what I just wrote by both x and by negative 2, and the answers will go below here. So 2x to the power of 4 multiplied by x, well, that's just 2x to the power of 5. And 2x to the power of 4 multiplied by 2, well, that's minus 4x to the power of 4. I've now multiplied, as you can see here, and I'm going to go down to take away. So we'll take away all this bottom part here. I'll put a bracket around both because we are taking away both terms. And then we'll do this. So 2x to the power of 5, take 2x to the power of 5, that's 0. And negative x to the power of 4, add, notice these two negative signs make a positive. So negative x to the power of 4, add 4x to the power of 4 will be positive 3x to the power of 4. Let's put a line there to keep our answer separate from our question. And now that we've taken away, we'll now bring down the next term. And that sets us up for dividing. Oh, let's fix that up. Okay, so how many x's go now into 3x to the power of 4? In other words, x times what makes 3x to the power of 4? And that's going to be 3x cubed. So plus 3x cubed. Now that term we've just written there is now going to be multiplied by both x and negative 2. So 3x to the power of 3 multiplied by x, that gives us 3x to the power of 4. And 3x to the power of 3 multiplied by negative 2, that's going to give us negative 6x cubed. Now we've done multiplication, we're going to take away the bottom from the top. So take away, put your brackets in, set up for your answer. 3x to the power of 4, take away 3x to the power of 4, well that's just 0. And negative or minus 3x cubed, add 6x cubed, that's going to give us 3x cubed. We've now taken away, we will bring down our next term. That's plus x squared. And now we're ready for our next division. So how many x's go into 3x cubed? Or in other words, x times what makes 3x cubed? And that is 3x. 3x squared, I beg your pardon. So positive 3x squared. Again, this answer we've just written from our divide is going to multiply by both x and negative 2. So 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. And 3x squared times negative 2 is going to give us negative 6x squared. All right, let's go ahead now and take away. So I'll set up by subtracting both terms in brackets. 3x cubed, take away 3x cubed. Well, that's just 0, so we'll leave that. X squared, add 6x squared gives us 5x squared. I apologize. Let's do that again. X squared, add 6x squared is going to give us 7x squared. And now we'll bring down our next term. And when you see this, this is the term that we had to adjust for. So we added this in because we didn't have any x terms. And when we go ahead and add this in, this now accounts for that missing x term. So now what we'll go ahead and do is we've brought our term down. We'll now start again and go to divide. So how many x's? Now go all the way into 7x squared. In other words, x times what gives us 7x squared? And that's 7x. So positive 7x. Now that we've divided, we multiply again by x and by negative 2. So 7x times x, 7x squared. 7x times negative 2 gives us negative 14x. Let's go ahead and take away the bottom from the top as usual. Add our brackets so we can see that we're subtracting both terms. So 7x squared take away 7x squared. That's obviously 0. And now we have 0x, add, see how there's two negatives, add 14x, that's going to give us 14x. All right, we've taken away. We'll go ahead and bring down our next term, negative 2, that's our last term, so we're getting ready for our remainder now. Negative 2. We can now start back up to the top and divide. So again, how many x's fit into 14x? Or another way of saying that is x multiplied by what will give you 14x? And that's going to be positive 14. So that's our constant now in our answer. So we'll set up for our remainder. All right, 14 multiplied by both x and negative 2. So that's going to give us, down below, 14x. And 14 times negative 2 is negative 28. Negative 28. All right, let's go ahead and subtract again. Set up for our answer. And what we get here, I expect to be our remainder. So 14x take away 14x, well that's just 0. Negative 2 add 28 will give us positive 26, and that's going to be our remainder. So we'll write here a remainder of 26.